thought we'd rather wish for a lockdown should never have opened last week with Corona. We thought we'd talk about self-given crowns. Instead, we got hand sanitizers and the need for leprechauna. Welcome back to the one, the only, the Ball is Bay NBA podcast, your favorite NBA podcast in an Indian accent. This could very well be the last episode of this season, which I'm sure it won't be, but who really knows? So remember when a month ago we thought that this year couldn't get any worse? It just did. Early morning today, in a prepared statement, Adam Silver said that the NBA will be suspended until further notice after defensive genius Rudy Gobert shut down the entire league by becoming patient zero for the NBA in this COVID-19 pandemic, whatever the difference is. Fret not though, the podcast will continue to run unabashed as we have taken the precaution of being continents apart so as to prevent any infection. Speaking of sickening, I've got with me as always the sickest dancer in any club he goes to, the thinker of ideas and talker of words, my co-host Vineet Devaya. Vineet, how many times did you wash your hands today?
I think maybe at least 10.
At least 10.
At least
And
10. And I
and
think I think 2-3 days back, I got a bar of soap. Here we
oh,
use liquid soap. So we moved to a bar of soap because apparently that's a little bit more better.
yeah. I mean,
Um,
are you in the healthier part of Europe, or is the
yeah,
not
I'm in
that?
Budapest. So there's been, I think, in total maybe like 5 or 6 cases
Oh.
here. And
And
I kind
Budapest
of,
has 500 people, so that's pretty large, right? That's a
no, no,
pretty
there's more
huge.
than 500 people.
Oh, it has more than 500
Um,
people.
it's
Okay.
probably like half an apartment complex in Mumbai.
It's true, it's true. It's not a joke. Mumbai has a lot of people. Okay.
A lot of
Speaking of a lot of
apartments.
people, we've got a guest with us. Did you know that, Vineet? We've got a special
I
guest with
do know
us.
there's a guest on this podcast because I can see him right on my
Yeah,
laptop.
you're not supposed to say that, but okay. Okay, our guest for this episode is the wonderful podcast host in his own right. On Instagram, he goes by the name CrazeyBBaller. Tanish. Tanish, welcome to the pod. We are so glad to have you. We've been planning this for around 2 weeks right now.
Yeah, it was really difficult for me to get here, right? We were supposed to start this an hour ago, and this was
Hour
the
ago,
time we should
yeah,
have
but
finished the podcast. So thank you so much for having me here.
it's our pleasure. Absolutely, we've been following your podcast. Obviously, that's how. Like one of our fans actually told us that
No,
it'd
it
be
is actually one
smart
of
to.
his fans told us about.
He's my friend. He's my friend, so he
Oh,
just told me about this Ball is Bay podcast. I really didn't knew about Ball is Bay, so I was like really happy after listening to this, no, because whenever we Indians, listen about anybody producing content about basketball in our own country, so it really feels good. So I was like, okay, let's
Absolutely,
do
and
something, let's connect.
we are huge fans of your social media game. I mean, we're trying to take
yeah.
inspiration, but we are so lazy that it just doesn't happen.
Every 2 weeks, one of us
Uh,
is like, we should do more social media,
yeah,
and then like, yes, we
like,
shall do more social
Yeah,
media,
it's
and
like a
then
choice
nothing
and
that
then
really
you
again
have
two
to
happens.
weeks
make, and
happen.
if you love that, if you want to grow, you do more. If you just love that doing, you can do it
Uh,
anywhere. Like,
Yeah,
well,
that's true.
okay.
What is this? We are being inspired
no,
by
Or
no, this
inspired by
this
our
is
guests,
not
yes.
inspiration or anything like that. It's just
but I
Uh,
have
uh,
noticed that Tanish is a little bit more deep than the both of us. We have kind of like very
Messing around kind
not
of people.
deep, shallow.
Shallow. Shallow is the
I
word
think
for
shallow
not
sounds
deep.
no,
bad, but I
we
would say
can
not
say
deep.
different. No, okay, deep. We can't decide that who's more deeper.
See,
No,
look at this. Look at
again,
this.
Okay.
it's
Ashwin.
Man,
no,
we
okay.
both got different styles. What
Yeah,
can I say?
yes, yeah, that can be said.
Yes. Tanish, when did you first hear about this that COVID? I
COVID.
mean, basically the NBA season kind of ending for right now.
I heard about it like today only on Twitter, I think, about that NBA suspended its
Hmm.
season, and after knowing
Yeah.
that Rudy Gobert has been tested positive for this COVID-19, so after that the game was shut
Hmm.
down. So it was I don't know. I don't know how to. I mean, say something. How do I feel right now that I've never experienced something like that? Like I came to this NBA world new in. I started watching in 2014,
Hmm.
15, like when it was the Warriors era started. No, So and
Mm-hmm.
it was lockout season to 2011, I think there was a lockout season, I think. So I've
Yeah, yeah,
just
2011, 12.
read about that and watched it. So this is first time I'm listening something like that. So it's kind of
I mean, so
different.
this is the first time basketball has been suspended for you, right? Because for you, since 14, 6 years of continuous NBA, and then now suddenly this thing out of the blue,
Yeah,
66 games
exactly.
in.
But I also kind of felt, I mean, happy about this because health comes first. So we can't really risk any one of those players or the audience or anybody else. No, that's why it was a good decision, I think.
Yeah, that's true. Uh, so what about? I mean, Vineet, I'm sure we've discussed this on the NBA Ballers group. Where, uh, what do you think would have been better for the whole league to get suspended, or for games to be played in front of no audience?
I mean, I think uh, the latter, the former. What were
The
the two options? Basically, no
uh,
games. I'm happy with the suspension. I think people's health is most important, and LeBron can make his billions of dollars anyways, so it's fine. Um, I think people should be safe. The players should be safe. Players' families should be safe. That's the most important part. I mean, unlike the other people involved in NBA, we don't get paid, so we can't even say that we lose our salaries. So
yeah, well, but we
I
we
think,
kind of lose our, where we gotta talk about old classics now. That's what we'll have to
Yeah.
do.
and in Tanish's case, it would be like 3 years back.
Uh,
Just kidding.
Yeah, but I'm
6 years.
trying to collect, all those highlights, old school highlights. So I can watch more and them and
Uh-huh.
try to put somehow something out of that, in the content.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Tanisha, I mean, how we usually ask our guests this. We start off with that question. How did your journey into basketball start? Like, and after that, when did you? No, no, no. I don't mean
I
like
Ah,
said,
okay,
six.
right, right.
No, no. I
No,
meant,
no.
how did he start? How did he start watching the game, or do you play as well?
Yeah, yeah, I plays. So, it was during that time only, 2014, I started playing. So, I'll tell you the incident. No, I was
Hmm.
watching a Michael Jordan
it's
video.
wait,
Okay.
Tanish, before you start, it's really funny because most of the people we get are much older, so they go like during the 1980s, and this guy's like in 2014.
Yeah, in 2014 only.
So there's not much of a journey, but it's just interesting. Anyway, correct.
So I was just watching one video of, I think, mixtape of Michael Jordan. So I saw him doing one layup and it was like up and under, going up and under against Utah Jazz, I guess. Utah Jazz or Indiana Pacers. And I never saw
Oh, okay.
anybody doing that kind of thing. Anybody. Because it was new for me. So that
Hmm.
that made me like, I should also play, not play, but I should watch more highlights. I never thought of playing. So I should watch more
Mm.
highlights. Then I saw more and more Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. Most of the time Kobe Bryant, and it was just so
Hmm.
my father is in army, so I used to live in cantonment. Right now I'm in hostel. So just in front of me there was, I think there was a ground which was totally destroyed, and people used to play cricket or anything else there. No, so somehow the army decided to
Yeah.
put up a basketball court there. So they constructed that, the cemented basketball court. So I was a die-hard cricket fan at that time.
Hmm.
So after I saw that
Mm-hmm.
court being built, so I thought let's give it a try. My younger brother, he also plays basketball, so he just bought basketball and just we just started playing. Started watching more and more highlights, and then I just my biggest passion is this playing this game, making it big. I'm still practicing
Hmm.
every day. Right now I have some health issues, so I'm a little bit off the practice, but that's my biggest aim, still making it big. Though I haven't got many opportunities. I was in Hyderabad. Right now I'm in Chandigarh University. So I was in Hyderabad. There also I thought that I'll be getting some kind of opportunity, but it really depends on for which school or the kind of environment that you are in. Your game really doesn't
Hmm.
matter that much when you are in a different kind of environment. So if you're not getting opportunities, it's just getting wasted. And if you are young, you don't really know what to do now, from where you can have the opportunity. So I'm still searching for the opportunity, and working on my game without any kind of expectation, just working more and more. So that's how I started playing.
Okay. But I mean, in that case, Chandigarh is probably one of the better places to be in.
Yeah, exactly.
The NBA is pretty active there. And Punjab is
Yeah,
obviously,
Punjab.
like the home of the, yeah,
Yeah, so
I mean,
But you need to be like 6 feet
that
5.
that's
six
what I
foot
was
Punjab
going
seven.
to
to.
say. No,
He doesn't look like he's 6
no,
feet
I'm
5.
I'm I'm 5'7" or 8", I guess. So I'm small, yeah,
Oh,
really small according to this game. So here I've seen the
But
game in Hyderabad.
then you must have good
Uh,
handles then.
you can
Then you
like
must have good
I can't say
handles.
that you have to watch that. No, if you say that, that will be good. I
That.
can.
do you have a mixtape? These days everybody has a
No, no,
mixtape. All the
actually,
kids,
I don't,
right? They'll all have
I
like
don't
a
have that.
mixtape of them, like ah.
I don't have that, recording my game. I would rather just say something about the game rather than recording my game.
Okay, okay.
So,
Please, if I ever come to
See,
Chandigarh, then I'll hit you up. We'll
for
create a
sure, we'll
mixtape for
we'll
you.
we'll play, we'll play
For sure.
one-on-ones and all.
Done, done,
I
done.
think I think I think he'll beat you, Ashwin.
I'm sure if he can dribble, then he can definitely beat
Like
me.
you can dribble too, right? So,
I'll just be like, oh,
both of
oh
us
my
can
God.
dribble.
I don't dribble that much.
Anything, we can play the game.
Just pull up.
He's a
We'll play.
shooter.
Like I'm
Definitely,
still
definitely.
struggling with my long range shot. I don't know. I was so much like impressed or anything you can say. I was so much into Kobe Bryant's shooting form. Like I just saw his one video where he was practicing, and I just saw his shooting form, and I was like, I need to get that form. And if you are a little small, or you really that form is a little different, that difficult, you have to really get a little bit more strength. So that thing didn't help me to get my range. So I'm now trying to figure out my new form.
Steph Curry, man,
Yeah,
his
oh
form is
yeah, I know.
perfect for shorter periods,
I used
shorter
to
kids.
hate Steph Curry's shooting form. Like earlier when I
Whoa.
saw that, I was like, kids used to shoot like that. I won't shoot like that. So, but
Uh,
slowly, people are doing those things.
औकात में आ गया बंदा.
Mm.
slowly.
Ah.
Yeah.
No, still my action is from
Long
from
range का
mid
ही.
range. Like so, from long range, I
Yeah,
just little
uh,
bit. My set point is
you
little.
have
Yeah,
to do it.
I
Yeah,
have to force. I don't have strength. I have to hit the gym
yeah,
otherwise.
yeah. I mean, if you want long range, that kind of, because I think Kobe has
yeah.
that kind of fade away.
Mm.
Like he goes
Yeah,
back,
yeah. You go there.
whereas
No, for
Steph
that
kind
you
of
need a
goes front.
lot of
Yeah, a lot of
strength
strength, right?
because you're going
That's why I
against,
like
then you have to
Steph
hit
Curry
the
has that
backspin and all
different
that.
form,
Yeah.
so we don't see him, shooting those fadeaways and all, because it just I can't imagine him shooting that turnaround fadeaway with that kind of like form. I don't know.
I mean, he doesn't need to. He just needs little space.
Yeah,
I mean, the
He has a
best form
really fast
is
action.
Clay Thompson. I mean, if you can get Clay
yeah.
Thompson's form,
Clay
then it's
Thompson
just
or
like
maybe Joe
it's like a
Harris. I
ping
really
pong.
like Joe Harris form also.
Oh,
No, it's
Joe
not bad.
Harris, I like it.
Joe Harris. That name has come up for the second time on this podcast. A shout out to Joe Harris,
Yeah.
of course. I said the name has come up for the second time on this podcast.
Joe Harris.
Did I
Outside
tell
the
you that
All-Star
I
weekend.
watched him win the
Yeah.
All-Star
Three point.
All-Star
3 point.
shooting
Three point,
Ah,
three
yeah.
point,
three
shoot.
points live.
Live.
Did I tell you that, Ashwin? I watched
Yeah,
it live.
but he watched him live, but he had no idea who Joe Harris was. He's like, who's this white guy shooting?
It's true.
Like nobody, like
I think nobody
most
expected.
of us didn't know
Yeah,
about
nobody.
Joe Harris before he won that competition. I didn't know that. I think he
Yeah,
played for
yeah.
Cavaliers
And
too, right?
I think
no
Nets
idea.
only
No one
back then.
knows.
Nets only, I think.
Okay, I don't know.
I'm not sure. I mean, it
Yeah,
could
it
be
could be,
Cavaliers. I mean, but I think it was Nets.
I didn't hear about him before that contest.
We'll yes, Joe Harris. Who do you play for? Okay, so I mean, we'll come back to your other half of the story. The reason why you're here, but we'll talk about the NBA. I mean, now there are so many things that could happen, right? There are talks about the league stopping right now and then starting the playoffs as expected after giving like a little quarantine period. But even then, they're not sure about the exact magnitude of this thing. This podcast is starting to sound like a medical report on the coronavirus. It's
Like
kind of a little
everything
disturbing.
everything
But
is.
I mean,
I'm hearing everything like that.
Vinny, we'll come to you. Do you think which would be like a better or let's say fairer thing to do? Just stop the standings as it is right now. Whoever qualified for the playoffs has qualified. I know for the East it doesn't matter much, but for the West there are some couple of teams who were in the run. Let's just say they were in the run. Or are you going to seed them as it is currently and then take it to the playoffs? Do you think there's a fair way
No,
to
I
do
think they're going
this?
to like they'll do something a different format. I think they'll make probably the last you know uh, I think they'll put in the top four and then the maybe the bottom six or seven battle for the last four spots, something like that.
That's okay. But even I think in the
There,
West,
there
even
was a
everything is a
proposal for
little.
something very similar, right? I think they'll probably implement that.
Oh, you mean
And
like a playoff tournament for the last six? I mean, for the.
and you know what? I was thinking that
Oh my God.
maybe this whole coronavirus thing is
Whoa.
just a way to get back at NBA
By
for
China.
saying what they said for China.
Whoa,
It
whoa.
could be possible. They were just like really mad at Daryl Morey for saying it's like, oh,
Oh,
okay.
oh, that's how it's gonna be, huh?
Oh, that's how it's gonna be.
What do you think, Tanesh? I mean, you must have been hearing about it a long time. Do you think there's any fair way to settle this?
I don't think there was any, like, they haven't yet decided what to do. So in 2011 it happened like lockout season, so they have to go with that, the same records, and do like that. So I don't know if they can do anything else. I have no idea what they should do. I think that they've done their thing.
I mean, what? Yeah, I mean, when this Duckworth Lewis things and all happened, which is a cricket
Ah,
reference. I'm sorry for using it here, but what they say is, if you know that there are 66 games, your approach to the 66 games will be different. But of course, if you don't know that there are 66 games, then out of the blue suddenly this is happening. I mean, I'm not saying anybody is gonna blame the NBA. This is probably the best thing that they could have done. Uh, but maybe the top, like top 2 or 3 teams just
yeah.
make it through, and the remaining
Yeah,
teams
that that
just
that
have to
that
fight out
that
in
would
a
be a better
Hunger
idea, I
Games sort
guess.
of
Yeah,
thing.
like first 3 or 4 teams might not need to fight anymore for the playoffs, but last four
Anymore.
teams, I guess, yeah, they can be a big fight. So they can do like that for only last 4 teams. They can do those games and all.
Because if I'm not mistaken, then right now the first round might be Clippers versus Mavericks, which is
Clippers.
I'm not saying it's going to be easy for Clippers, but it'll be
If
like
you're not
Luka
saying
and
it's easy, what are you saying?
Porzingis. I'm saying it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, it can be
I mean,
difficult.
Luka and Porzingis versus
Seven
yeah. I
game
mean, they
series,
are
beating Dallas in 7 game series, it's difficult.
going to be difficult.
It's
Yeah.
going to be difficult.
I mean, it'll be interesting to see Luka Porzingis
Yeah.
versus the defensive.
I'm already
Yeah.
really hyped about
le-
like Luka and Porzingis, and whenever I like see them playing really great both together in any game, like I say, if Porzingis is playing great, Luka is also playing great. I'm like that's it. Like if they can go like that for the next seasons also, then they can
Yeah.
really kill the league. Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's a great
That's
duo.
like two really tall, really impactful, proper shooters spread the league, and they don't even believe in those post ups anymore. Which,
Yeah, like their coach,
whatever.
the coach
Can't.
doesn't believe in that, but I think that they can use it, like bring more variety. But I think Porzingis is just
Exactly.
like crazy. I think he's like the next version of little bit of Kevin Durant. I think he's shooting from the logo. So I don't know. I haven't seen
Yeah.
like as in Damon Lillard, Trey Young, Steph Curry. Someone may be trying that, but
Uh,
Porzingis is
and
just,
and somebody who's 7 foot
yeah,
10 or
seven
whatever
foot
he
or
is
something,
really.
like he's a big man. I can't even imagine somebody playing like that and running like that on the.
Yeah. Uh, I mean, I don't want to talk about the East. Vineet, you want to talk about the Eastern Conference and any
I just want to say
change?
that like there used to be a 7 foot one guy who used to play like that. His name was Dirk Nowitzki.
Oh,
Just
Yeah,
saying.
yeah,
yes.
but like, yeah, Dirk Nowitzki used to
Name
play like
drop
that,
Dirk
but
Nowitzki.
Dirk Nowitzki can never move like Porzingis. Like Porzingis moves a little bit different.
But that's because you saw old Dirk Nowitzki, right? You saw
No, but
old
I've
Dirk.
seen.
You young
Oh,
kids saw the old Dirk Nowitzki.
Okay, I can agree with that, but I've seen the highlights. I think Porzingis is a little kind bit of different.
I mean
yeah.
Porzingis I think is definitely a little bit more
Yeah,
agile.
yeah.
I don't think Dirk ever jumped on somebody to get an offensive putback
Yeah,
dunk.
but Porzingis can't shoot like Dirk.
No, I mean, not
Like
like
the
Dirk.
game
That's
has
true. I mean,
changed. I don't
I've seen
know.
Dirk
They
destroy.
haven't tried Porzingis at the post. Like if they used him at the post, maybe he can develop. Not like Dirk. Like Dirk's post game was next level, one of the best ever. But Porzingis, they really never try.
Yes,
They like,
exactly. Even the kids know.
yeah, we know, like
My God, anytime
I
you
love old school basketball more than this. Like I like poster
uh,
plays more than three pointers. Like
mm,
there was a time when I started
Yes,
hating,
I like
like
you
I
already.
started hating three pointers. I don't know why, but slowly we are accepting that.
no, no, no. The problem is like they miss so many times, and you just they just think that they're gonna hit all the three
Yeah,
pointers. So if you go to local tournaments and all, like people, all of them just want to be Steph Currys.
like
They
I
just want
think
to shoot
more
from
than
outside. Gaya to gaya, nahi gaya to nahi gaya.
NBA
Not
shooting
even.
three, I think the
Mm,
impact is more than the NBA is doing in the league. The impact the kids are doing more than that. Like straight away coming
yeah.
and hitting from three pointers, like they won't miss.
Just not even with the form.
Yeah, not at all.
This is little
That's
bit of hating,
ugly,
but
ugly form. I can
it's
straight
not
out say
nice. I mean, you can
ugly
get a
form.
better
They're using
shot.
ugly forms to shoot those three
Ah.
pointers.
uh, okay.
We got some trash talk. Trash
Well,
talk
I
to
mean,
the
it's
younger
true.
kids then. Tanish is already trash talking the
Yeah,
younger
like I'm
younger
now
generation.
19, so I'm kind.
In 2 years, he's going to be trash talking like ये बच्चे तो कुछ भी नहीं जानते हैं. हाँ?
Maybe I can say that.
Oh my God. Definitely. No,
That's
no. I
true.
mean,
That's true.
if it's ugly, then it's ugly. We have to call
Yeah,
it
right.
out. So, uh,
Actually, Ashwin has a good shooting form,
Mm.
yeah, I used to be a proper
but you don't
shooter.
jump.
I mean, I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
from
jump.
like
You have no
outside
jump.
3.2.
No, no, not from outside three point, like a mid
Oh,
range. Outside three pointer, it's a little bit of struggle because I'm also not that heavily built.
okay, okay.
Of course, none of Vineet can't shoot for shit, but that's he keeps using
Whoa,
his
whoa,
butt.
whoa! That's
Well,
not true.
he
That's
keeps
not
using his
true.
butt to move me out of the way, and he's like, yes, yes, yes.
I'm,
It's a
cha-
old Charles
I'm,
Barkley
I'm,
sort of thing.
yeah. I mean, if I had to shoot, I would shoot, but I don't have to.
Yeah,
It's like Zion
that's a
Williamson,
great
bro.
point.
Man, we need to get all three of us on a court, then we'll be like, yes, okay, now you can talk.
I mean,
Okay, I mean, some
that's
little
true. That's
sad
true.
news. I mean, it's not that sad, but Vince Carter finally could have probably played his last NBA game. The guy didn't get a proper farewell. He didn't get that NBA All-Star invite, and now sort of a little bit of bittersweet thing happening for him. Uh, Tanish, have you have you been inspired by Vince Carter's crazy dunks, or just the kind of long longevity that he had in his career? I'll start with actually Vineet because he's been silent. He's just looking at me like, what is happening here? Vineet, Vince Carter is someone from
Oh,
your time, so please.
from my times, huh? I'm not
Yeah,
that old,
obviously.
dude.
But yeah, he came into the
Oh,
league in
yeah,
'97, so kind of.
yeah, kind of, yeah.
Yeah. But I
I mean, Vince Carter was okay,
yeah.
dude. I mean, he was a very athletic player, very like kind of highlight reel,
Mm.
sort of like the Zach Levine of today. Um, just a regular guy. I think what really impresses a lot of people about Vince Carter is that he's just a nice dude.
Mhm.
I think that was his thing. Like he was great, athletic, slam dunk champion, like probably one of the best. Uh,
20,
and obviously played for
20
what,
years.
22 years, 21 years, I don't know how many, but
Yeah,
quite a long
20,
time.
97 to 23 years, so it's been close to, yeah.
Yeah, and I think
22.
he deserves all the respect we all can give him, and he had a great run at the Nets. I think that was probably his most successful prime run, was when he was the Nets. Probably the most exciting when he was the Raptors, and then it was, I think, Mavs, and then he kind of just was a journeyman. So
Mm.
props to him. I think I think I don't know if he is Hall of Fame career kind of guy, but I wouldn't be I wouldn't be that mad if he got voted into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. What about you, Tanesh? Any thoughts about Vince Carter's?
See, the biggest thing about Vince Carter is that his skills are very, very underrated. Like most of the
Mhm.
people know him for his dunks. Most of the people like for his athletic nature. People know, like, you go and watch on YouTube his best 4 or 5 games, you'll see that kind of feeling that Kobe had, that Tracy McGrady had. Like there are
Mhm.
very less people who had skills like Vince Carter, but his athletic ability was so much that it really overshadowed his skill. So I think his skills were just next level skills. Like uh, Vineet said that he was like the Zach Levine kind of guy. And yes, I mean Zach Levine is very very skilled. I mean Zach Levine is also really underrated right now. Like he's not winning games, so these kind of things. But Vince Carter's skills were really like I look up to some guys who have so many skills. I talk a lot about skills, like feel for the game. And during those 2000 era, he was facing the one of the most toughest defenses that the zone concepts and everything like, and he was scoring on them, and having some triple doubles, and passing ability was great. So I think yeah, Tracy McGrady, Iverson, Vince Carter, Kobe Bryant. Like I would put Vince Carter in that kind of group because of his skill set, but nobody really talks about that, so nobody really know. But you go and watch 4 or 5 clips of Vince Carter, it's just great. Hooper.
I mean, let me put it this way: Vince Carter had joined the Lakers, he would be the Kobe.
Whoa.
And that would be true for anybody, right? That would be true for T Mac. That would be true for
Yes,
AI.
for T Mac.
I don't agree with that, but
Like
I mean,
not
You're saying
not
that-
like Kobe was a little different. I think Kobe was most skilled of all. That's what I think. But yeah, but if those players can get a team like the team like Lakers or any good
like a
team,
Shaq.
Yeah, like a Shaq.
No, man, I don't think that's true because
And have a Hall of Fame coach like Phil Jackson, who's already won 6 championships.
yeah, Phil
come
Jackson.
on.
I mean,
It's okay.
yeah.
It's all right. That's cool. Like somewhere you have to give the players the credit. I mean, Phil Jackson. Okay, cool. All right. No.
No, I mean, I'm
But
just
he-
saying that in that
but he won
era,
it
right,
with-
he was one of those guys where you could, like, see, in that era, they were like two big dynasties. Like, I think we discussed one was the Spurs and the Lakers three-peat,
Lakers.
right? So in that Lakers three-peat, Shaq and Phil Jackson were kind of like the thing, and then Kobe was obviously the second best in that. And you could have replaced Kobe with any of these other guys because you couldn't replace Shaq. There was no Shaq. There's never going to be a Shaq. There's that kind of dominance is never going to be there.
Like I
But
don't
in
know
that
if
era,
they can like those players can put the impact like Kobe, but yeah, I agree with that we could have replaced these players. These players didn't get that kind of environment that Kobe had.
yeah, and so they could have been that. I mean, whether they would continue that and whether they would go and win other 2 championships, that I'm not saying. I'm just saying that like in that 8-9 year run, if T Mac or Vince Carter or maybe Grant Hill who got
Yeah,
injured,
Grant.
so those guys were the kind of like two guards, good shooters, can handle the ball, 1-2 punch. Because you couldn't replace Shaq. Like Shaq was Shaq. There's no one like Shaq, and
Yeah, really.
he was a kind of talent that would have won at least 3 rings, irrespective of where he would have played. Like he had come to that prime of his
Exactly.
dominance,
Yeah,
I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we will take a little break from this and come back to Tanish's podcast. So when did you get this idea for this podcast and like what made you?
It's not a podcast.
It is a podcast.
He doesn't call it a podcast on his Instagram hand.
It's there on his. It's there on his. What is that word? On Spotify. I've seen his podcast on Spotify.
Yeah, no, I have a podcast too. That's a little different thing. I have a podcast too. I like tried running a podcast. It's very less like the content is very less on podcast. I'm not being able to produce content on that because little bit of like schedule and everything else. But I do have a podcast different than that. Instagram
See,
page.
Vinith,
And
you
I-
learned
I-
something on this podcast.
I also have
I
a
didn't know this.
YouTube channel.
I just thought he had the Instagram thing.
No, that is in addition. It's a different stream.
Okay.
Yes,
Different revenue stream.
different revenue stream. I mean, I don't know about revenue, but it is a different stream where there is some potential in that as well. I mean, that is what we are more jealous of.
Yeah, can come.
Inshallah. So when did that thought come into your mind that I need to
About the podcast.
I need to create content and I need to put it out there.
Like so, you're asking about particularly podcast or like everything, Instagram.
I mean, just your everything.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. It was during like I'm a dropout. I'm a college dropout. So this is the second time I'm doing my first year. So and just because of the sports, like in the previous college I didn't have sport. It was government college. So it was during that time, like that dropout time. I had nothing to do. So I was just sitting on terrace with my brother. So it was the last year's, I think, All-Star, just before the All-Star break in February only, yeah, just before the All-Star break. And we were just talking about the All-Star. So I decided to make a video, like just for fun. Let's make a video. So So I was making the video. You can also you can see that video in my IGTV series, the first video that I ever put out. So we were just
Okay.
recording. We talked about All Star and like Westbrook was a reserve, Paul George was a starter. So little bit that kind of thing. And my brother was also there. He didn't speak much, but yes. So that was the first time. And then the next day, I thought I need to make one more video. It just came to me like I can't resist making one more video. So I thought
Okay.
let's go and make one more video. So that's how just I kept on making videos and videos. Like now I'm doing it on a daily basis.
Hmm.
Daily basis, yeah. That's how it started. It's been 1 year only.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when that friend of yours told me about it, I looked about it. I saw your podcast on Spotify, and then I think recently you had talked about how you're tired of all the media narratives and how
Yeah.
they're trying
I
to,
talked about that.
yes,
Like
yeah. So
I
I mean,
put up a video in Instagram, but I also wanted that to go in podcast, so I just extracted the audio and put it on the podcast too.
hey man, don't give out your secrets. Uh,
No, it's not a secret. Like you can see if you follow podcast in Instagram, like you can see, okay, that's it's both the same. That's okay.
Uh, no. So I mean, we like I mentioned before, like me and Vineet have always been figuring out, how to, get into this like constant content creation one apart, because we have kind of little. I mean, we do our 1 hour podcast, and
Yeah.
more or less that's sort of it. Uh, okay, let's come back to NBA. Let's talk about some predictions, because we might or might not be at the end of the regular season. So the
Yeah.
next time we talk, we might just be the first round of the playoffs. So we'll start with you, Danish. What do you think? First round is probably a little easier because it's all. But
Yeah, first round.
what do you think will be the best matchup in the Western Conference? We don't want to talk about the
Are
Eastern
we are we
Conference.
are we are we keeping current standings?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
you can be a little adventurous. You can say that something weird might happen, but
Like
it's all up to you.
the most interesting, I think, the any team which gets to play against the Houston Rockets. I think that's the most
Ah,
interesting thing. Houston Rockets just
okay.
started their experiment like this year in January or so, and there have been ups and downs for them. Like they've been losing games badly to Phoenix Suns. I think they lost to Phoenix Suns too.
They lost to Phoenix. They lost to Charlotte. They lost to the amazing New York Knickerbockers.
Yeah, right.
So,
And they also beat the Lakers with that kind of lineup. So it's
yeah,
kind of mixed kind of things, and they are still figuring it out. And so it will be the most interesting matchup, I think, will be against the Houston Rockets. I just want to see how they will go in the playoffs. Like the defensive intensity is really the next level in playoffs. I don't know what they will be doing in the playoffs, and Harden's inconsistency or whatever you call it in the playoffs. Though he averaged 30 plus points last year in the playoffs, but still people call it.
yeah.
So I don't know.
I
That's
mean,
the
he has
most
to average
interesting.
around 40 for Houston to have a chance. Like, it's that simple. Like, that offense is built around, his
Yeah,
magnetism. If he can't
And
shoot,
Russell
then
Westbrook.
I mean, I'm
People
not
are
saying that.
sleeping on Russell Westbrook. What's
No, no,
wrong
no,
with
no,
people?
no, no. I didn't
that's
mean that. See, that's
is
not the
just
point.
talking about James
They
Harden's
both
like
have to. They both have to
yeah,
create like awesome numbers. Because
yeah,
if
right.
those other people can't make the shots, then Russell won't have that place to drive. Like the lane won't open up. The lane opens up because they all are like scared of the 3-point shooters and all. And if Harden can't create that, then it's gonna be difficult. I mean, I agree with that. I think Mavericks are my pick for the underrated team. No, and the team being slept on, because I really want to see how they are gonna be performing. Vinith, who is your dark horse for this playoffs?
Dark horse.
Uh, Especially now that your teams are not going to play anymore, and our scenario is that the next game that they play will be the playoffs. That is, I'm just saying from that perspective.
I think OKC for me is pretty good.
Hmm.
I think OKC is kind of like they're a team that always plays really good. So you would have to play four really good games to defeat them.
Yeah,
So that's probably like they're not a team that's going to make mistakes. I watched like 4 games of theirs,
Whoa.
and they don't make too many mistakes. They're very
Yeah.
very tight. All the three guys, the three guards are very very effective.
I think
The rest of
OKC has become the LA Clippers of this season. I mean, last year's LA Clippers.
they're much
Who had
better than LA Clippers of last year.
No, but what I'm saying is because they have a nice bench. They have absolutely no superstar as such who's a ball hogging superstar who,
Except Chris Paul.
a high usage superstar. They've got all. No. Chris Paul is a superstar. I'm not saying Chris Paul is not a superstar, but I'm saying Chris Paul is
And
not
he's a
like
ball hogging superstar too.
No. Chris Paul is not a ball hogging superstar.
But
Absolutely
I think
not.
he has changed his the habit of that ball hogging. I think after coming to Thunder, he was a little ball hog.
But this season he's sort of been like a mentor, sort of like a
Yeah,
old
exactly.
lion. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, I will teach you how to do these things.
I think I'm looking at the standings. I think Philly and Boston would be a good
Let's
matchup.
open the Philly and Boston.
I was looking on East who's going to be there. I think Philly and Boston is pretty good.
Philly and Boston. You think they'll be playing together? Could be, right? 6-3.
3-6-3. Yeah.
Yeah.
First
Oh.
round matchup.
Oh, that'll be interesting. But I think if this season they don't happen, I don't know, man. Like I don't know how much more patience this Philadelphia management will have if this year also they can't do it. Because last year was a heartbreak, so I think we give them that. Last year they were also a little inexperienced, and that Kawhi shot is not something that you can ever prepare for.
Really.
But this season, I think they've been really bad. Like they have a horrible record away from home. Did you know that they have won 2 games out of 30 games or something that they've played away from home? Like it's unbelievable, and that is a really good team. 10-24, okay.
Yeah.
Then, but that's still pretty bad.
Yeah.
That's still pretty bad.
That's bad. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's bad.
I mean, like it's a team with championship
Check your
aspirations.
stats, Ashwin. Check your stats, Ashwin.
No,
Hey, man, the stats are just a word.
I'm just
It is
looking
bad,
at
it
the
is bad.
stats, That's why I'm like.
Even Miami is pretty bad. Miami is also pretty bad away. Philly and Miami both are really bad.
But Philadelphia has Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. Like it's Miami has.
Ben Simmons is overrated. I mean,
Man,
let's
come on,
just be
man.
honest.
Come on, man. Ben Simmons, have you seen that guy run? Tanish is giving a thumbs up. He also feels Ben Simmons is overrated.
Ben Simmons is overrated.
Yeah, like
It's
I
just,
think
I mean, he's a very good basketball player. Like it's like it's the same Draymond Green thing. Like Draymond Green is a good player, but he's definitely overrated. Same thing. Ben Simmons is a good player, but he's overrated. I'm not
Yeah,
saying
man.
he's
They're
not
playing in the NBA. They're all good players.
Yes, exactly my point.
No, but I'm not comparing Ben Simmons to me or Tanish or you. You're comparing. I'm saying Ben Simmons is a good player in the NBA.
Yes, he's above average.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe
like and I think his potential is just like the LeBron kind of potential. He has the LeBron kind of potential, but the things I don't know why he has not worked on the basic things like the basic shooting thing. I don't know why he hasn't worked on that, the back to the basket game and everything else. Like his ceiling is like very very high. He can be really great, but that the Philadelphia are not using him properly. I don't know. Somebody is not teaching him what he should do. Like he can be crazy.
But one of my only predictions regarding Boston, which has come true, is Jason Tatum becoming a superstar. So I'm just gonna take that humble pie and take that little sweet pie and be sideways.
Yeah, I think Jason Tatum just needed some space, right?
I think this Jason Tatum thing is still not established. He had like a couple of good games. Let's all chill down
Like,
on this
I-
Jason.
I
No, he's
won't
not.
call-
He's had
I
a
won't
month
call
of
him
good games.
superstar. Like he was selected in All Star, but yeah, he's a great player. And next year, maybe I can call him.
No, let's not throw great around. This is the problem I'm having with the chat. Like we have this don't throw the great. See, you have bad NBA players, you have average, you have good, then you have good in a system, then you have superstars, and then you have great. So it's like there has to be,
like
Man,
my
this semantic
definition
shit,
for
man.
great is a little like different. No, like I've seen the way he plays the game. His foundation is just great, and his skills are really, really great. So in that point of view, I'm saying great. Like your great may be different, and my great might be wrong. My great might be wrong.
That is also true.
Yeah.
We've never had someone accept that everyone makes mistakes on the spot. This is highly enlightening.
Highly unlikely. I told you he's a very deep guy. He's not as shallow as us. This doesn't do well for good media spicy conversation. If everyone's like, oh, this is just a game, there is nuance for everything. No.
I mean, it'll be
Strong
like, this guy
opinions.
is good. This guy is good. This guy is bad. That's it. That's end of opinion right there. Of course, we like to have fun. That's why we throw around these words.
Yeah.
Like have fun. Nobody has fun anymore. We
Really.
just pretend we have fun.
Hey, something going on with you, Ashwin? Something you want to talk about? Some deep emotional wound.
Not right now, but maybe on the next
Not right.
pod. This corona has not been sitting well with me. But
Fair enough.
yes. But everyone, please wash your hands. Anyways, if you're listening to this pod, please wash your hands and your ears.
So let me ask Tanish a couple of questions. So which is the team that you follow? Like what's your team?
Los Angeles Lakers. Big time Laker fan.
Oh,
God.
thank God you didn't say Spurs. Otherwise, I would have stopped this recording right now.
I've heard like that. He's a big fan of Spurs, right?
He's a liar. He's been telling people that this is a Spurs podcast.
My Spurs fandom is becoming. People are
Legendary.
hearing about it.
Because you keep
Soon
talking
I'll
about it. You should let other people talk
Soon
about
I'll
it.
be
You can't be the one.
I'll be like Bhushan Suryavanshi. I'll be MVP. No, what's that?
Most valuable
MFP.
fan. MVF
MVF
of the Spurs in India.
of the Spurs in India. I'm happy with that.
And ironically, you're not even in India, but fine, we'll go with it. The accent is Indian, so we'll go with that.
Accent is Indian,
Accent is
face
Indian.
looks Indian. I can't escape it. So okay, so you're a Lakers guy, and why a Lakers guy? Kobe Bryant. Don't say Kobe Bryant now.
He just said,
I
he said Kobe
I
Bryant.
have to say Kobe Bryant.
You stay with your. Oh.
Oh my
I have
God!
to
But
say
you didn't even see him play. Well, like when he was like Kobe
I don't know
Bryant.
that
You saw him when
that
he broke
really
his
doesn't
ACL.
matter. It just came from inside. Like Kobe Bryant, I think the best.
This Mamba mentality is being spoiling these kids, man. I'm telling you.
Kobe was the reason. Lakers.
Okay.
Big.
Not yet. We can't say bad things about Kobe yet. Maybe one more month.
One moment though.
One more. Okay, so Kobe is the Lakers thing. Okay, and then like who's your favorite player, living or active? Sorry.
I think Kyrie Irving, next, after Kobe retired. So I have
As
to
a
pick a
junior
favorite
Mamba.
player. Yeah, I have to pick a
Oh my
favorite
God.
player after Kobe Bryant when he retired from the league. So it was Kyrie Irving, which I think is the most skilled player in the league right now.
About Kevin Durant.
I mean Kevin Durant is really
Wait, what?
Kevin Durant is a really gifted player. Like is just next to one of the. I can still put him in one of the greats. One of the best scorers of all time. But I don't think anybody has the skills like the shot making ability like Kyrie Irving. Maybe because of his size. Like Kevin Durant might not be doing those kind of stuff what Kyrie can do with his handles or creating the shot, attacking the rim. But I think Kyrie is the best.
Actually, I disagree with you on this because at Kyrie Irving's height and weight, he is more. He can do those moves much better than what Kevin Durant does at his height and weight.
No,
it shows
I'm
that
saying,
at Kevin Durant's height and weight
cannot do those moves. That's what I'm saying.
No, but skill is when you can do what you're not allowed to do.
Yes,
right?
but
it's like if Shaq could shoot 3-pointers or free throws regularly, he would be highly skilled because he's doing something outside what he's supposed to do, right? So Kevin Durant,
I'll put it in the
7'1" guy,
basic way, right? The way Kyrie plays with his right hand, he can play with his left hand too, and Kevin Durant cannot.
Okay, that's fine. No, I'm not saying he's not a bad player. I'm just saying from a skill perspective, right?
I can say that Kyrie Irving has worked on his skill set more. I can see that thing, like what I told you about the right and left hand. Like he can go the same way with his left hand and with his right hand too.
But he could also just be ambidextrous, right?
Okay, I don't know. I don't know the meaning of ambidextrous.
Ambidextrous, like people who can do things with both hands. Like there are people who can write with both left and right.
Yeah.
They can play tennis with both left and right. So it's less of a skill. It's more of like your brain cognition.
But I don't know if you can do the up and under layup with the left hand or right hand without practicing. I don't think that comes like that.
I mean, if you can write with both left and right,
Yeah,
then I
man.
think
We
you can
need
do.
different people have different ideas of what skill is, man.
No,
Like,
no, I really
Hey
like
man, but
that.
this is a
harassing
podcast. It's
people.
supposed to be.
we
There should be a
yeah,
discussion.
there
It can't
should
be
be
like,
I really love that.
what are you? If you don't want to discuss my friend because you're not having a happy time,
I'm telling
because
you,
of
the most
coronavirus.
skilled person in the NBA is absolutely James Harden. I think it takes great skill to make sure that nobody can stop you from scoring.
Like,
So I
no
think
disrespect
James
to
Harden
James
is the guy.
Harden. Like James Harden, I
But
defend
who
him a
stops
lot.
Kevin Durant?
Who stops Kevin Durant? Injury stops Kevin Durant.
Yeah, other than that, nobody stops Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant has not been stopped for the past 12 years in the league. The only
Absolutely.
thing stopping Kevin Durant was Russell Westbrook.
It's true though.
It's true.
But it's because Kevin Durant is a nice guy and Russell
Like,
Westbrook is
I
like,
hate
no,
to say
I'm
that,
Dude,
done.
but
Kevin
yeah,
Durant
it's
is
kind of true, right?
unreal. His skill set is unreal. Like he's just. I mean, he's
Yeah,
such
I can
a.
say that. Next level.
Like,
Like we never expected that kind of player do things like that. Like at that
Yeah, it's
size.
like a Dirk Nowitzki in the body of a Pete Maravich. Oh no, like a small guy.
Like I'm
No, but
thinking
he's
of
just
Kevin Durant.
good.
Like
Like,
next year, if Kevin Durant comes, like he has like the
Oh,
Undertaker vibes when he
oh,
comes back. Like he's coming in the
yeah.
lineup and it's just scary for all
Like
the
a
opponents. Like he's that
Slim
that
Reaper,
kind of
yeah.
player.
I mean, we really, I mean, even though we think Kevin Durant is a little bit of a snake, but and all that, but we
he
still
is a
do miss
snake.
him.
There's no. Let's
There's no
not
doubt.
take away.
Fine.
No. The two things can be true. He can be a great talent and he
and a
can be a
snake.
snake. These two
I'm
things
saying
are
you don't
true.
like snakes, you don't miss snakes, but we do miss Kevin Durant. That's what I meant, man. We need stop trying to finish my
Oh, okay,
sentences.
okay.
I'm saying even though he's a
Okay.
snake, we still miss Kevin Durant because we
But you said
absolutely love
little
what he does.
snake. You put the little in front of the snake. No, he's not a little snake.
He's a 7-foot snake.
He's a big ass bitch.
He's a big ass
Yes.
snake. He's a 7-foot, 200-pounder snake, and we really do miss the things that he
Very,
did.
very much.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's a great player. Seeing him play was. I mean,
Yeah.
when he went to the Golden State Warriors, my God, it was just
we abused the shit. We were like, no, this is not cool. This is not fair.
it's not.
You can't
cool.
have
It's just-
Steph and Clay and Kevin Durant and
Kevin Durant.
Draymond Green.
And Draymond Green.
And Draymond Green, right?
And Draymond Green. That is just unfair. At least give us Draymond Green.
How did you guys think like about Kevin Durant about his decision? Do you think like it was his decision so he can make it, or it was like weak decision? He shouldn't have taken that.
Yeah. I mean, I'll let Vineet go forget the first crack because I don't want to start crying again.
No, I'll let you do because you have more emotions to this reaction. I
Okay, fine.
have a very.
I mean,
basketball-y-
I just thought it was absolute shitty move. It was a snakish move because I think eventually I would have been okay if he had gone to any team which was not the
Spurs.
Warriors. Spurs, I would be like, okay, fine. Because we understand that, there is tension between him and Russell Westbrook. It's not the fact that he left OKC. It's the fact that he left OKC for the Warriors. There's nothing else. Like,
Hey, come on.
I mean, he would have left OKC, we would have abused him a little bit, but we would never have called him a snake, or we'd be like, you left us for the team which beat us. So that is the thing. Like, he was supposed to be, he's the leader, right? Like, even if Russell Westbrook is the alpha in that team, he's the one who shouts and all. Kevin Durant is the guy who gets the ball. Kevin Durant is the guy who we are all like, as long as Durant is there, we'll kind of find a way. We don't have to worry too much about it. And so when that guy leaves you and then goes to your ex, and that like, no, man.
Like
that's
the
not
fact that Golden State beat them in the playoffs after coming back from 3-1 series, that makes it
3-1.
worse.
Yeah, exactly. And that's we're like, no, man, that's not cool. And that was supposed to be our year. We beat the Spurs, which had won like some 62, no, what, some 65, 67 games,
Yeah, that
something in
one's
that
amazing.
season.
They had played really well that season.
Yeah, so
They were
that's
very
that's
great.
what my
Kawhi was
feelings
coming.
about.
Kawhi was like rising up to be that Terminator. They had
And then
just
we stopped that
destroyed.
team. And then we stopped that team. 4-2. Boom shakalaka.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was just that he ruined basketball for me. I mean, I think that was his best move. Like I think he knew that LeBron. If he didn't do this, LeBron would have won the next two championships. I think,
Exactly.
as much as people love the Golden State Warriors, I think LeBron with Kyrie and the whole shebang would have definitely won the next two championships, or at least split the other two.
Yes.
And Kevin Durant was like, this is my only opportunity to get my rings. And so he went to the strongest team that was possible. He was the best player on that team. everybody says, like, no, this is a joke I came up with yesterday, but I think it's pretty funny. People say that, without Draymond Green, the Warriors could not have won 3 championships. And I say, without Draymond Green, they would have won 4.
It's true.
It's true too.
Yeah, I think
It's true. It's true. It's
Yes,
true. It's
yes.
true.
That's true.
Yeah.
Poor
Well,
Draymond Green.
okay.
Man.
I think this was a fun. We'll do that one little round that we do with all our guests also, because Tanish is also a guest for us. We'll ask you some, this or that questions, and you can let us know, what your.
Are you prepared, or
What's-
is it like
I'm not
you wanted to
prepared,
be
but
wrong?
what is preparation? It's just a word, so we'll get prepared right now.
It is just
dinner
a
is not
word. That's
prepared,
true.
but it's just a word. It's just a word. Okay, all right, Tanish. So
Someone's
we'll
preparing
alternate.
dinner for you, man.
Man, dinner's also a word which we have to prepare though. So yes. So I'll ask you a question, then Vineet will ask you a question. We'll go about it, and then we'll see. One basket to save your life. 1 on 3. Who do you trust? Kevin Durant or Giannis Antetokounmpo? So it's basically Kevin Durant or Giannis Antetokounmpo against 3 defenders, and it's one. They have to make a basket to save your life.
Kevin Durant, straight
Kevin
up. Kevin Durant.
Oh my God. Okay.
Okay, so my question is, would you choose to be taller with the same ability, or same height with better ability? Like, would you
Taller.
want what would you want?
Taller with same ability.
Taller with same ability. Good
Taller,
choice.
same.
Good choice.
Like now that can really prove your point of with Kevin Durant, right? Kevin Durant versus Kyrie Irving.
Yes.
I thought you were going to say that.
No, I didn't want to. I didn't want to rub it in. I didn't want to rub it in. I wanted to keep it nice.
Okay.
Okay. What is more appealing, like assist or a flashy assist, or a steal and a dunk, or a steal and a basket, whatever?
I think assist. Flashy
Assist,
assist. Or
okay.
Assist over steal.
Over steal.
Assist,
Oh,
no.
okay.
He's
Steal or
an
dunk?
offense man.
Even
He's an offense man.
about dunk?
Dunk, let's not talk about dunk. None of us can dunk, okay?
Oh, you said what he likes to do.
I said
I thought he.
flashy
I thought
assist.
he likes.
Flashy assist
I
or
thought
a
like-
steal and layup.
Okay.
Yeah. Flashy.
Who do you think is the best player in basketball right now? Kawhi, LeBron, or Giannis?
Whoa.
Like, if you had to pick one player to win a championship.
Like LeBron. I would never
LeBron.
pick Giannis, by the way. Right now, I would never pick Giannis.
You would not pick
But I would
Giannis.
pick.
Okay.
No. I would pick LeBron.
So between LeBron and Kawhi is what you're saying.
LeBron. It's LeBron.
LeBron. Okay. I should not have put LeBron in this choice.
I should not have put a Laker in there.
Yeah. No. Okay. You can still cut him off. Like you can ask Kawhi or Giannis. I would take Kawhi.
Yeah. Okay.
Giannis or Kawhi. Okay. Basically, he does not like Giannis, so I kind of like Tanish. Okay, then. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Like, it was an absolute treat talking to you, Tanish. Hopefully, we can do more of this once the NBA returns, and hopefully, it returns sooner than later.
Awesome.
Yeah. Like we have really less talks like this in our daily life. Like, so it was really great talking about this. Right?
The fun was all ours, or the pleasure was all ours. One of those was all ours, and thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I mean, boys and girls, please follow us on Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, wherever you get your podcast. Don't do it on YouTube because there's a little bit of issue. We don't put out content. That's the only issue. But soon that will be solved after this inspirational podcast with our main man.
Yes. Oh, wait. Tanish, give us some inspiration. Tell us like how you create, how do you motivate yourself to create more content? Like give something inspirational.
Like I'm just playing the game, so and after that I'm looking at the games, looking at the highlights, and I'm just looking at the players. I just want to like show people what the player is truly, what it's about. Like sometimes underrated players, and I think so. Every day I'm getting content from NBA, so NBA is giving me content, and I'm just going about it. Every day I watch games, I want to analyze more.
Okay. Do you think you would want to be an NBA analyst on Sony someday?
I would really love to, but I want to play basketball at a higher level rather than
Okay,
going
okay.
at Sony and. But if I can get the
I'm just saying
opportunity, sure.
eventually, like even Charles Barkley is on TNT eventually,
Yeah,
like I'm just saying.
yeah. I would really love to. I'd love to do that. If I can go
Okay.
till ESPN in US, like it would be great.
So he's like, fuck Sony, ESPN is the
Ashwin,
shit.
do you think Tanish can become the next Akshay Manwani?
Why not? I think it's very, very possible.
But a nicer Akshay
It's
Manwani.
a sweeter one. He'll be nice to
A
us.
sweeter one. All right, guys.
Okay. All right. Thanks once again, man. Everyone. Absolute joy doing this thing. We'll
Thank
release the
you so
episode
much
soon.
for
So
having me.
yes. Okay.
Thanks,
All right.
man.
Vinny, say bye.
Bye.